What's going on, guys? It's me here, Pooh Bear 253. How are you guys doing today? Good? That's good. Well, this is something that you guys have never seen me do. Eat on camera. You guys, I'm starving like Marvin. Today is my last day off. And the word for today is job. J-O-B. Job. But anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed the new intro. I also have a new outro that's going to be at the end of this video. But I felt that my collection had changed so much. It was time for me a new intro. So that's what I've been doing since I got up and after I ate my breakfast or whatever. So I've been doing that. So, you see that? That's what I do when I hadn't had substance food in my belly. So, J-O-B, job is the word for the day. So, I just wanted to discuss jobs. Like, how many jobs have you had? What was your favorite job? What was your least favorite job? And, you know, tell me a little something that you liked about each job. Or you could just listen to me talk about my jobs. It don't matter. This little cuisine right here was made by my hubby. So that the seasoning that I purchased for our Christmas dinner didn't go bad, like celery and some green onions and stuff. So he just kind of whipped together something. And this was our lunch yesterday. And it is also my lunch again today. So I'm going to go down the line and talk to you guys about all the jobs I've had. The very first job I had, I was in high school, a senior in high school. And the name of the job was Reflections Books and Gifts. It was a bookstore on Southern University's campus. I actually attended Southern University, and that's where I got my degree from. But before I went there, I worked at Reflections for my senior year. My job was cashier, and I got to like label stuff, like put price tags on things, unbox things, but most of the time I was just the cashier. And sometimes I worked in the inventory, unboxing things and stuff like that. That's what I could remember anyway. My favorite thing about that job was it was my first job, and it was my first source of income, like my first little sense of independence, if you would say. You can say like that. So good, I'm hungry. So that was my first little source of independence. That was my favorite thing. My least favorite thing about it was my boss. She was such like a like, okay, I'm the type of person, I'm going to do what you taught me to do. I'm going to do it. You don't have to hover over me. You don't have to tell me. I'm going to do what needs to be done. But when you right here, breathing on my neck, it makes me nervous. And it makes me make mistakes. And she was one of those type of bosses that she kind of get behind you. Hurry up. And I was like, ooh. But it wasn't so bad. That was my first job. Cashier, Reflections, Books, and Gifts. My second job, when I actually started working, well, let me see. I guess that was my second job. It may be my second job. When I actually went to Southern University, when I first started, I got a job as a student worker, which was like the easiest job you could ever get. I don't know if this job came before or after, whatever. Like I said, the jobs might be kind of mixed up because my memory is not that great. But the next job I think I had, like I said, I don't think maybe I did, I don't know. But it was an easy job. Actually, I was a student worker for several people at the Ag Center. We just basically like typed up requisitions, ran errands, went to duplicating to go get copies made, that type of stuff. But most of the time, I just sat and did my homework. So you basically just kind of, you know, if they didn't have anything for you to do, go run any errands or anything, you just did your homework, or whenever they need you. So that's my favorite thing about that, was it was pretty laid back. Least favorite thing, the first group of people we worked for, it was like we were under 2 secretaries. So the secretaries were like, it was like us, then the secretaries, then the higher people. The secretaries were kind of like nitpicky type of people. Kind of like if you came in 2 minutes late, oh, I'm documenting you were 2 minutes late. That type of people. Like they were so happy to be in control over somebody type of people. But anyway, let me see. I worked at Convergys, which was like a phone operating place for Sprint, I think, for a cell phone. So basically I was what's that called? Customer service for Sprint. So if something was wrong with somebody's bill, they called in. My least favorite thing about that job, there was nothing I liked about that job. Only thing I liked about it was the fact that I got paid. My least favorite thing about it was you were just stuck sitting in a chair answering phone calls all day. It was so boring. Like I would get up and try to stretch. It just was like, it was not a fun job at all. I did not like that job at all. Another job I worked at was Just for Feet, which was a shoe place. I got that job on my own. Basically, it is what it is. I worked on the shoe thing, put shoes on. They made you push those insoles and their shoe cleaner stuff, and you, the more that stuff you sold, you got extra incentives or whatever. But I never pushed that stuff. I was like, you want it? No? Okay, next, moving on. So that job, it was okay. It was just like an in and out job. Next job, I remember I think it was Babies R Us. I enjoyed it. That was before the hobby. That was like right when me and Cedric started dating. When I was working at Babies R Us. Babies R Us was fun. I was a cashier also there. And sometimes I stocked and fronted shelves. It was fun because it was baby stuff, you know, but I wasn't in the hobby yet. So back then, hubby and I thought we were still going to be able to have kids and stuff. So I had bought like 2 little swimsuits on clearance that was going to be for Aria. That was our baby, whatever. But that never came true. Those swimsuits were too big for my dolls. So I ended up giving them away to somebody. Somebody that worked with Cedric. So that's what happened with that. My favorite thing about that job, I mean, it was just kind of fun. You know, playing with the baby stuff and stuff like that. Least favorite thing was being on your feet all day. My feet used to hurt so bad. Another job I had over the summer, I used to work for a summer camp through BREC. BREC is like Baton Rouge, something, I don't know, something about exercise, something, I don't know the acronym. But I worked several summers, like about 4 summers with them. It was fun because, I mean, the kids were kind of annoying. The job was pretty much laid back. Wasn't much we had to do besides just babysit and watch the kids. Least favorite thing, summertime we were outside, it was hot. And you was funky all the time and stuff. Like I said, the little bratty children used to get on your nerves. You couldn't do nothing to them. They ain't listen to you. I was like, whatever. But funnest thing, like we used to go swimming. We got to go enjoy the field trips and stuff. That type of stuff was fun. But the beginning was more fun. Later on, like they had budget cuts and stuff, and we didn't get to go as many places. So, but I got tired of that and stopped. And then after that, I started working as a paraprofessional with EBR while I was still in school trying to pass that doggone practice test, y'all. That practice test was no joke for me. But anyway, that's what I was doing while I was trying to pass the practice test and taking my last few classes when I was in college. And what I was saying? Oh, wait, what I said? Oh yeah, I was working for Brick, and then I ended up becoming a para. A friend of mine that worked with Brick too, she was like, "Girl, you in school to be a teacher, right? You can you got enough credits, you can go and be a para with EBR, and then you can get benefits and all that, blah blah blah." You know, by the time then, you know, I was getting too old to be being carried by my mom and stuff, so I started working. The first place I worked, I think, was it Terra was the first place? But how I ended up getting into my career field of being a ESS teacher, teacher for students with special needs or whatever, I actually was a volunteer. I volunteered for a program, and it was called Camp Lazy Days, and it was a summer camp for children with special needs, and I loved it. I just loved working with them. You know, we didn't really do anything. We just kind of hung out with them and stuff, and we played games and that type of stuff. And when I had gotten to the point where I was too old to be a volunteer, like I said, this was free. This was volunteering. I cried because I couldn't work anymore. They said, you could be a team leader. Like, I'm very, like, under the radar type of person. I don't like to be over anybody. So I decided not to do that. But I cried when I couldn't do it anymore. And this was a time when I was kind of bouncing back and forth with what I wanted to be. First, and at one point was going, because I did not want to be a teacher. I did not want to be a teacher. And at this point, I was thinking of being like a regular teacher, regular ed teacher. I'm like, I do not want to be a teacher. And so then I ended up into, like, for a couple semesters, I was in, like, counseling. Like, what was it? Not counseling. I can't remember what it was. I changed my major like 3 times. And then somebody was like, and I was like, well, maybe I really enjoyed working with special needs kids. I said, well, why don't I try being a special ed teacher? And that's how, you know, this was all during my freshman year or whatever, where I was kind of bouncing around, not knowing what I wanted to do and whatnot. But then that's where I ended up at, and it just seemed like everything kind of just started to flow from there. And like I say, I finally passed the practice one night, but up until then, I was a para. I worked in middle school, high school. Like the para's assistant, like I say, I didn't really have that many responsibilities besides like watching the kids. Like I said, I really don't remember doing much of anything. I remember one teacher used to have me take her IEPs, like to go get signatures from different teachers. I remember doing that. One time I used to, my least favorite job, actually is close to where I live now. The principal, I feel, was a bit racist, honestly. He was always, I mean, I'm just going to be real with you. The white teachers, he let do whatever they wanted. And anybody black, it just seems like he did anything to hound you, to be on your back, whatever. And that's when I used to have to sell them doggone smoothies and stuff. I was so upset because, I mean, I don't mean to bring color into it, but it was a white para. It was time for her. This is several times that it had happened. She was supposed to come and relieve me. You know, this was doing like lunch, and I'm hungry or whatnot. And I'm like, where's she at? And I closed down the stand because it was at a point where this had happened a couple of times. I was like, okay, I've had enough. I closed it down, was taking the box to the principal, and lo and behold, the parent that was supposed to be relieving me sitting up there on the computer. Oh, I was so hot. I went there and threw that box on his day. I say, you can sell these doggone smoothies. Long story short, I ended up in HR and I had to move from that school. But yeah, that happened. But the teacher I was working with was cool, you know. We just kind of did our own thing. And then, let me see. I feel like something else on. Oh, and then I became a teacher in 2009. First year was rough, y'all. Woo! And it's even rough when you don't have a good para. And I did not. Woo, it was rough, y'all. The teacher that would help me throughout, and the principal, like at the end of the school year, they was like, whoo, baby, I didn't, for a little while there, I ain't think you was gonna make it. But there's a lot of stuff you have to learn and with special needs kids and stuff. And I said, I always knew, I didn't know what I was doing. Learning that paperwork and stuff. But now, it's easy peasy now, y'all. And then, over the summer before I started saving my own money and being out for summer, I used to work EBR summer school. I did that like 2 or 3 years. And then one year they made a mistake and said, ooh, sorry, we can't employ you this summer. And me and my husband had to pinch pennies. This is back when we were staying in our first apartment and stuff. We had to pinch pennies and stuff to make things work. And then I was like, that wasn't so bad. And I said, you know what? I'm not depending on y'all no more. Then after that, I started saving my own money out my, because a lot of people do deferment for their check. I'm like, I don't need you taking my money. I'm responsible. I can manage my own money. So I take a portion of my money from my check every time I get paid that goes into my sum of money, and that the rest was history. I started saving up, and I had like a couple $1,000s saved up that would be able to, you know, I could basically pay myself over the summer. And ever since then, baby, that's been it. I saved my money over summer. Now, since hubby makes plenty enough money, so over the summer, like, we don't even need to touch that money. That is currently the money that is being set aside for my new car, as we have housed a bunch of money in there for that. But that's about it, y'all. That's all my job. So what was your favorite job? What was your least favorite job? My favorite job, Let's see, my least favorite job. My least favorite job would have to be Convergence. That was a horrible job. Sitting in that chair all day, listening to them people fussing and cussing and stuff. That's my least favorite. I guess all my little rinky-dink job, I guess Babies R Us would have to be my favorite. I like Babies R Us. I don't really have no bad memories from that. Only thing about Babies R Us was that my feet used to hurt so much for standing up all day. That's it. So that was our conversation for today. Job. J-O-B. Do you like your current job? My current job I do because I get paid. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's with any job for me. If I'm not getting paid, I'm not doing it. The only thing I would do for free is work at an animal shelter. And that ain't gonna be an everyday thing either, because that's hard work too. But it all boils down to my money. As long as the money flowing, you'll see me. I know a lot of people say, and I can say, now if you have a job that you would do for free, but I don't know how you're going to pay your bills or whatever, that is more power to you. But anybody that come up and say, Halonda, would you teach? Would you work? Would you do your job for free? The answer is no, no, heck no. And that's just all I can say about that. But that's it. I might do another little part. I might change. I think I might change Sky I don't know, but see, it's winter time. And I don't have no more winter stuff. The only thing I'll be able to put her in is another sleeper. And the same thing for Tyria, and everybody else been changed already. But that's it. That was us chatting. I hope you enjoyed listening to me chat about my jobs. This was my first time doing this. I wanted to make a video and I was hungry. So that's how we ended up there. But that's it. I'm going to finish eating my lunch. I got 1 scoop. I'm going to have me a fruit. And maybe I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Alrighty, that's it. Mwah. Peace. Bye-bye.